Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making a simple one. They're called monster cookies, and not because of their size but because of how much goes into them. So let's get started. I'm going to throw in 2 cups of flour into this separate bowl here, and a half a cup of old-fashioned oats. And then I already put in my container here, it's a mixture of 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1.5 teaspoons baking powder, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a half a teaspoon of salt. Just gonna throw it all in and then just give it a quick little whisk, just so everything kind of gets mixed up. And that's all that is. Put that to the side. Now we're gonna add in 1 cup of butter, or 2 sticks, and this is room temperature. We're gonna add it to our stand mixer, if it goes in. Then we're just gonna mix it till it's smooth. Okay, now once that's all smooth, we're going to throw in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and a half a cup of smooth peanut butter. You could probably use the chunky peanut butter, but we are going to throw in crushed up peanuts later, so you're going to have to take out some if you already have the peanuts in your peanut butter. Okay, and then we're just going to mix that until it's nice and smooth again. Okay, now that that's all kind of mixed in, I'm going to throw in 1/3 cup of granulated sugar and 1¼ cup of packed brown sugar. And then we're gonna mix that until it's nice and fluffy. Okay, and then we're gonna just scrape down the bowl, make sure everything's at the bottom's getting incorporated. All the way down. Okay. Mix it up a little bit more. Nice and fluffy. So now we're gonna add in 2 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk. And like always, do this in a separate bowl. And you should always have clean hands before you start cooking. But if you don't, make sure your hands are clean now because you're gonna be touching the eggs. Okay, there's my egg yolk. So she's mixing this in between each one. I forgot. All right, you see how nice and smooth and creamy this batter is? It's pretty batter, but now it's about to get very stiff. So we're gonna add in our flour mixture from before. We're just gonna dump the whole thing in, and then we're only going to mix it until it's just incorporated. We do not want to overmix this. Do it on a low setting. All right, so that's just barely mixed in. Wasn't more than probably not even 30 seconds. Okay, and so for the moment, we are done with our stand mixer. Now here's the part where you're gonna have to use some muscles. We're gonna fold in, I have a half a cup of roughly chopped peanuts, which actually I beat with a mallet, so they're not, some are small, some are kind of big still. I'm gonna put those in. I have a 1.5 cups of M&Ms. If you want this like really peanut buttery, you can use Reese's Pieces. I mean, maybe you can even use the M&M, peanut M&Ms, there we go. That's gonna just make it extra peanut buttery. I have a 1.5 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And now use our muscles, and we're gonna just fold all this in. And let me give you an up close view of what folding is in case you don't know. Okay, so folding is basically where you're going all the way down to the bottom of the bowl with your spatula and then lifting up and then cutting through the middle. You're not stirring in a circular motion. It's more of a swoop and cut. Swoop and cut. So let me show you. So you go all the way down, you bring it up, and you fold it in the middle like the cut down motion. And you just keep doing that until everything is mixed in. Okay, so now that we got that all mixed in, we're just gonna cover it with some plastic wrap. Just like so. And then we're gonna put this in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes, but you can leave it in the refrigerator up to 2 days. So if you wanna make this ahead of time and then, you know, bake on the weekend or whatever it is you wanna do, but at least a half an hour, and that helps the peanut butter and the butter kind of solidify, and we're gonna roll these into balls later. So let's pop this in the fridge and I'll get back to you in a little bit. Okay, so this has been sitting in the refrigerator about 40 minutes now, and I have a little cookie scoop or ice cream scoop. I only ever use it for cookies, but if you have a spoon, just use a spoon. It's a very large spoon. So you're gonna just take it and roll it into a ball, set it on your cookie sheet that's lined with parchment paper, and then you're just gonna smush it down a little bit. These don't spread a ton. When I first read this recipe, it said just to drop the cookies onto the mat, and they were just like this big chunk of cookie. I don't know, I didn't like it. So I like to do this. I like to roll it and then just kind of squish it down a little bit. But your hands do get kind of nasty, so you will have to go to the sink and rinse off probably quite often, or at least in between each batch that you make of cookies. And if you need to, if the butter starts to melt a little bit and you need to put it back in the refrigerator, do that while these are cooking, and it'll help set the butter up a little bit more again. I probably could have sprayed my hands with like a baking spray and they wouldn't get as sticky, but that's fine. All right, so these cookies spread out way more than they ever have before, so I don't know what I did wrong. But I mean, they still look good, so I'm sure they're fine. Or maybe I did something wrong last time and these are the right way. I don't know. But we're gonna just put them on the cooling rack. They're quite soft. And maybe it's just that my batter wasn't cold enough, so the butter spread more. Okay, so I looked at my recipe, and the only thing I did different from every other time I've made this recipe to today is I added only a half a cup of peanut butter, and it's supposed to be 1 cup. But I don't know that explains why they're so flat. But let's give them a try and see what they taste like. Maybe I'll prefer them this way. They're still really good. So yeah, add that other half a cup in. Maybe you'll get thicker ones. They're still good this way. I don't have a problem with them, so. All right, so I tried the other ones like you saw before, and I actually really prefer them that way. So, I mean, if you want to just do that half a cup of peanut butter, I mean, I like it. Happy accident. I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep it that way. Anyways, if you want to see more of my recipes, even the ones I mess up, please like and subscribe below. Have a great day, everybody.